You go up to a confirmed tornado. Someone's seen it. It's on the ground. Now we're up to the next stage, and that is a considerable tornado on the ground. That's what our tower cam looks like right now as we have destructive hail and we have strong winds, which is moving in. So this is on the roof of the building. This is outside at KVUE right now. We're pointed out, here's downtown Austin. We're pointed back down to the east. I'll see if any lightning. Did you guys see that? Live in Maysfield, you need to stop what you're doing now. You need to take shelter. You have a confirmed tornado, which is on the ground. It's quickly moving directly towards town. Considerable tornado warning now for this storm with a confirmed dangerous tornado just south of Streeter. This is a destructive storm for Austin, Cedar Creek, and Wildwood. Baseball-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So a weather impact alert begins in about 45 minutes. We have 2 rounds of possible storms that we are tracking. We've had some light accumulations, but so far nothing major. Now eventually, here in about 3 hours, the wind is going to start to die down and our conditions really improve tonight. Well, happy Friday to everybody. We are tracking some pretty big changes in our weather pattern for this weekend heading into next week.
You know, I don't blame Hunter for this. I really don't.
You don't?
I don't.
I think everybody else do.
It's actually my fault. I go around and I sprinkle allergens into the air to make everybody suffer.
Right?
So you can have a barbecue and have all Austin-based condiments. You can have your Bichon mustard seed,
right.
the Glen Powell mayo.
And Nolan Ryan beef.
Then you get to Starkey Dam. They have 4 floodgates open right now, which is passing those floodwaters into Lake Travis, which is exactly where we need it. 50 to 60 mile per hour winds out of the east or the southeast. So it was the wake low that brought us all this really windy weather last night.
This is nice. I would say this is incredibly relaxing, minus the fact that I'm trying to not drop any of this technology in the water. Outside of that, it's very relaxing.
LaGrange had a heat index up to 108. Feels strange talking about a heat index of 108 while I'm skating on an ice rink.
Nice. There you go. That's it.
The weather out here, not exactly feeling like the holidays, but they are making fresh baked cookies about 100 feet to my right, and that has got me in the holiday spirit. Well, yesterday we were in the low 90s, but today you can feel things starting to change. Between now and Friday, we briefly go back to a wetter and cooler weather pattern, and we're hoping certainly for some beneficial rain. We know we need it here in Central Texas. For some, that will start this evening. Here's a live view outside. This is our Zach Theater camera looking out over downtown Austin. No rain yet, but again, it's been cooler today. Highs were in the low 80s at both the airport and Camp Mabry. That was 10 degrees cooler than what we had yesterday. So how much cooler will we go? Well, tomorrow, high temperatures will only be in the 60s. I have 68 in the forecast for the high temperature. That is well below average. Friday, a little warmer, but still a degree cooler than average at 75. Then Saturday into Sunday this weekend, we'll go back to more of a typical springtime pattern here in Central Texas. All right, here's the radar. This is our system. A little frustrating just to see widespread soaking rain going for miles and miles and miles, but so far it is still to our south, but you can see the way this is expanding, it is slowly expanding northward. So as we get later into this evening, some of this rain is going to move into our area, especially the southern half of our KVUE area. Here's a closer look now already in Luling. This is some heavy rain moving into your area, southern Caldwell County. I think next up we'll watch this southern Blanco County into Gillespie County. Again, expect over the next few hours, rain is going to lift up from the south into much of our area. Now, it's not necessarily going to be heavy for all of us, but there will be some pockets of heavier downpours in there. The severe weather threat is pretty low. Could there be some small hail or some gusty winds? It's possible, but mainly this is just rain that we have coming in. So as we go into this evening, we go up to about a 50 to 60% chance for rain. Not everybody getting rain, but especially the southern half of our area, decent coverage. And that will just be kind of round one. So by midnight, that is winding down, but the rain chance actually goes up even more for tomorrow. It's at 80%. Some scattered showers in the morning, but especially for the afternoon into the evening, this is a fairly widespread coverage of showers and embedded downpours. We keep going. Thursday night into Friday. Is it raining constantly? No, but more waves of rain and storms will cycle through. Here's 4 a.m. on Friday and through especially the first half of the day. It's about a 60% chance for rain. This is the last frame of our model, which is at 1 o'clock on Friday. A little bit more rain will fall after that. So here's the latest data as far as how much rain we could see. This unfortunately has come down quite a bit, as you can see. I think generally speaking, even on the low end, it will be a 1/10 of an inch to a 1/2 inch of rain. These numbers probably a little bit underdone, though. I think many of us end up with a 1/2 inch to 2 inches of rain. In some pockets, that could be up a little bit above that. So watch for a minor flood threat, but otherwise, this is beneficial rain. Honestly, we wish it could be even more. An 80% rain chance for your Thursday, a high of 68, so it's cooler. Friday, a 60% chance for rain, a high of 75. Into the weekend, we're in the 80s and 90s, just a small storm chance on Sunday.
Get right to the forecast now with Chief Meteorologist Hunter Williams. Tonight's the night we've been looking forward to. Seems like for about a week now in this cold weather. Precipitation still on the docket tonight.
That is right. If you walk outside, and I just did this before the newscast, if you look up a little bit, there's not much precipitation falling, but it looks a little fuzzy up there where a few little raindrops, a few little snowflakes, they're trying to work their way down. And what's happening is the atmosphere is very dry right now, and it's going to take some time this evening for things to saturate, but I think once that happens, we get into the overnight, we'll start to see some snow and some sleet here across our KVUE area. So let me show you what's going on right now. A live view outside from our Zach Theater camera looking out over downtown Austin. Really, it never warmed up today. Austin barely got above freezing for like 1 hour, and now it's down to 32 degrees, so cold weather's not a problem. It's 33 at the airport. The problem, as I mentioned, is this number. Relative humidity, 37%, dew point 8 degrees, so we still need to saturate the atmosphere a little bit more. That's been one of the big question marks in our forecast. Here's the radar, though, and it's starting to get going here. We have some snow showers, some sleet developing just north of Houston. And for us, we're watching this batch of snow showers and sleet developing to our south. Radar is showing some of this starting to move into parts of Fayette County. So if you guys have any reports of what you're seeing, please send it our way. Again, this is all going to work up to the north and expand farther into our area later on tonight, especially once we get past midnight or so. Here's our winter weather alert situation. We have a winter storm warning along and east of I-35, a lower winter weather advisory for the hill country. The greatest accumulation potential will be in the pink, lower totals as you go back west into the hill country where moisture will be most limited. All right. Model data. This is our graph model, and it has been remarkably consistent. Again, we're trying to be transparent. These winter weather forecasts, it's always a little bit of a game time decision. Here in our KVUE area, we're battling that dry air, but here's a very plausible take on how things could go through the rest of this evening. So here's 7:30. Snow flurries, snow showers starting to develop. Increase in coverage. Here's 10 o'clock. All right, we've got more scattered snow showers developing. And we keep going into the overnight. Again, once we get past midnight, that's going to be the window to watch. By 2 a.m., our model has pretty widespread snow. We get a few sleet pellets, but mainly snow across our area. This is 5 a.m. Austin points southeast. Snow is falling. Temperatures mid to upper 20s. Plenty cold enough for some light snow and sleet accumulations. We keep going into about 8 a.m. At that point, precipitation starting to move out. But I want you to watch these numbers. So it's really not going to be until 11 o'clock or midday or so that temperatures nudge above freezing. So through the first part of the day tomorrow, the precip mainly is already going to be gone, but travel conditions could still be a little bit slick until temperatures are able to warm up a little bit. Then they should go above freezing, not by much, but above freezing into the upper 30s by the afternoon tomorrow. All right, here it is, my updated snow accumulation map. These numbers have come down a little bit since yesterday. Again, we're trying to account for some of that dry air we'll be fighting, but we think this is what we're on track for. Lower totals, northern Wilco into the northern hill country, dusting to a 1/2 inch. For the Austin area, I've got a 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches of snow and some sleet accumulation in the forecast. Then this zone in the darker blue, this will be the favorite spot to watch where maybe the totals could be a little bit more. So is this going to be a blockbuster, historical snowstorm here in Austin? It is not, but this is enough snow that slick travel will be a possibility. So be mindful, especially on the bridges and overpasses. Also want to mention a little bit of light freezing rain can't be completely ruled out, mainly down along the I-10 corridor, so a light glaze of ice is also possible. All right, this is the part of the forecast where I talk about the uncertainty. Could a forecast miss happen? Yes. I think I'm cautiously optimistic. I like the way things are trending, but we'll have to watch that dry air. Some of the high-res models said that could heavily reduce our precipitation altogether. That's not what we have in the forecast right now, but just something that we'll need to continue to monitor. Again, these winter weather situations are always tricky. I've got a 70% chance for snow and sleet and wintry precipitation tonight, a 20% lingering into tomorrow morning, then decreasing cloud cover through the day. I think most of the frozen stuff will melt tomorrow afternoon, but another hard freeze is in the forecast Wednesday morning, so it's possible any lingering moisture could refreeze, maybe a few slick spots. Our forecast looking much warmer for the late week into this weekend. Well, happy Friday to everybody. We are tracking some pretty big changes in our weather pattern for this weekend heading into next week. So we're moving away from this very cold Arctic air into a rainy pattern and eventually maybe even a stormy weather pattern by the end of next week. Live view outside from our Moody College communications camera looks great, and our temperatures are much more comfortable than they've been in a long time. It is 57 at Camp Mayberry right now. Same number at the airport earlier today. High temperatures actually made it into the low 60s. Tonight, it is chilly, but I still think most areas will stay above a light freeze. It's just the coldest pockets that will freeze tonight. So I'm watching Bastrop 31, Lockhart, San Marcos, a light freeze. Likewise, the northern hill country. But notice a lot of these numbers are mid to upper 30s, so it won't be a widespread freeze tonight, especially across Travis County, the immediate Austin metro, a lot of mid 30s. Round Rock, a light freeze for you tonight. Leander, likewise. And then as you go down to Hayes County, numbers generally ranging from 33 up to about 36. Now, as we go through the day tomorrow, watch how the pattern just gradually changes. Cloud cover comes in. I think there's a lot of dry time, mainly dry during the day on Saturday, but these rain chances ramping up late afternoon into the evening. High temperatures for Saturday, pretty cool, only in the 50s. The better rain chance, though, is going to come Saturday night into Sunday. So we go from a 20% Saturday to a 50% rain chance on Sunday, especially in the morning. So let's walk through that hour by hour. Here's the time, Saturday, 5 o'clock. As we get into the evening on Saturday, some drizzle, some light rain showers developing. Then what happens is a weak cold front comes in. So you saw that, how the wind, it shifts. It's going to go back to a northeast wind. This is just kind of damp weather, widespread showers, maybe a few downpours, although increasingly it doesn't really look like we're going to have a ton of heavy rain or storms in the mix. Here's about lunchtime. We keep going into the afternoon, just cloudy, cool, and damp weather in the forecast for your Sunday. So now I want to skip ahead. I mentioned this pattern, it continues. So here's the middle of next week. This is Wednesday at 5. As we go Wednesday night into Thursday, there's a big upper level system that's just kind of meandering out west. It's eventually going to pass through Texas. So widespread rain and storms Thursday. Another round of rain and storms, maybe even a few strong ones possible on Friday. So we go from Arctic air to a strong storm risk and maybe even a flood threat. Look at this. GFS American model and European model, in varying regards, both say parts of our area could have upwards of 3 inches of rain over the next 7 days. And look, I agree. I think it's a possibility. So this is a pretty big switch up for us. On our 7-day forecast, that first system coming in on Sunday, highs in the 50s, a chance for showers. But we get much more active Wednesday night into Thursday and Friday. High temperatures by Wednesday in the 70s, but a little bit cooler by Friday. We'll watch that strong storm potential and the threat for some heavy rain.